Russia thought it was untouchable in Briansk, but in the early hours of June the 5th, Ukraine launched a precision strike that ripped through Russian missile base, destroying one Iskander launcher and crippling two more. These aren't your ordinary vehicles. These are billion-dollar Ruby missile systems, the pride of Russia's 26th Rocket Brigade, and now they're scrap metal. Welcome to Combat Ready HQ. Today we are breaking down exactly what went on in Briansk, how Ukraine pulled it off and what it means for the war, and why it's sending shockwaves across Russian command structure. Early morning of June the 5th, Ukrainian forces working alongside the security force, their SBU, struck a Russian military base near Klinsk in Bryansk Oblast. This base was home to high-value target Russia's 9K720 Iskander M launch system. According to Ukrainian sources, the strike was a success. One launcher destroyed and two more seriously damaged. But let's be clear on this. Briansk isn't some border checkpoint. It's 50 kilometers inside Russian territory. Ukraine hit deep with precision. And it wasn't just a random hit. They struck while the Iskander systems were getting ready to launch. That's preemptive defense at its most ruthless. This wasn't just a lucky shot with some DIY drone. This was planned, coordinated and deadly accurate. The Iskander M system is one of Russia's crown jewels in the battlefield space. Think of it as their version of the hammer from the gods. It fires short-range ballistic missiles with a range of up to 500 kilometers. These missiles are precision guided, can change trajectory mid-flight, and they also carry serious firepower, both conventional and potentially nuclear. Each launcher costs tens of millions, and they're mobile. That means Russia can fire and reposition quickly, making them harder to track and harder to hit. Except this time, Ukraine did manage to track them, and they managed to hit them. One of the launchers was part of Russia's 26th Rocket Brigade, the very first brigade to be fully equipped with Iskander system. These aren't the new kids on the block. These are Russia's veterans of long-range warfare. Why Bryansk and why now? Let's have a zoom out. This strike fits a growing pattern of Ukrainian deep strikes inside Russian territory. Over the past few weeks, Ukraine has launched multiple operations under what many analysts are calling Operation Spiderweb, a wave of long-range attacks on air bases, radar stations, logistics depots, and now missile brigades. Earlier this month, Ukrainians struck military airfields thousands of kilometers away. This was only a few days ago. That sent a message. We know where you are, and we can reach you. And now Briansk, right on Russia's doorstep. Ukrainian intelligence says these Iskander systems were preparing to launch missiles towards Kiev. So this wasn't just revenge. This was a preemptive counter-strike, stopping an attack before it started. The response: Russia launched a record-breaking Shahed drones and 44 missiles across Ukraine in a single night. One of the largest air raids since the war has started. This tit-for-tat escalation shows that the war is now about to reach, and Ukraine is proving it's got it. Alright, let's break down how Ukraine pulled this off. First of all, they needed intelligence. You don't just stumble across an Iskander missile system. This could have involved a combination of electronic intercepts, satellite imagery, local informants, and possible aerial drone reconnaissance. And you never know, they may have sent troops across the border to do a bit of their own surveillance and reconnaissance. Once confirmed, they had to strike fast. These launchers are mobile. They don't sit around for too long. Time from identification to launch was probably a matter of hours. This weapon hasn't been confirmed. It's a mystery missile. The likely possible candidates could be British or French Storm Shadow missiles or US supplied ATACMS. Or has Ukraine got its own long-range drones or missiles? The strike was timed perfectly before dawn, when guards are tired, visibility is low, and morale is at its lowest. This is precision at its finest. Once again, this wasn't just like military physical power. This is psychological to Putin and Russia. Ukraine has made sure the world has seen it. There's been leaked footage, satellite images, and official statements claiming first confirmed Iskander kill in full combat. That's a huge morale boost for Ukrainian troops, for the allies, and for the civilians in Ukraine under fire. Meanwhile, we've got Russia who are staying quiet. No official comment, no denial, which in this war often mean the reports are true. For Putin's command, it's a serious embarrassment again. Massive multi-million-pound weapon systems destroyed, behind the front lines in their own territory. This undermines their deterrence, and it tells Russian crews, you are not safe, not in your own country. What can this mean? Short term, Russia will more than likely retaliate. They will retaliate hard, possibly with swarms of drones, cruise missiles, absolute chaos. Possibly in the midterm, you're going to see Russia moving its missile systems around, possibly deeper inland, adding more defence layers, and possibly pulling back from frontline launch zones. And this, though, could reduce their capacity in northern Ukraine. Long term, Ukraine just showed it can hit hard and high value targets once again inside Russian territory. Airfields, radar sites, supply depots, and also now rocket brigades getting hit. Every hit like this is psychological, and it also gets Russia to spread its defences thinner and thinner. This is giving Ukraine an edge. These aren't just strikes from Ukraine, these are statements. Ukraine is no longer just in a defensive mode, it's no longer just defending. It's reaching into Russian territory, deep into Russian territory, dismantling strategic assets and changing the face of modern warfare. We will continue to keep you covered in these turning points every step of the way. And before we finish, just want to say, if you'd want to support the channel even further, you can become a channel member. So a massive shout out to all of our channel members. It costs less than the price of coffee to support the channel. You can also head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk to check out our merch. Some of our coffee tumblers come in green and black. And we've got 4 different coffee blends that you can check out as well. So head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk to check them. We do ship internationally as well, and use code FIRSTORDER15 for 15% off your first order. And if you want some of the best supplements that are on the market and are 100% military safe, if you're worried about, conducting a CDT and failing, you won't, head over to combatfuel.co.uk and use code CH15 for 15% off there. They've got some absolute brilliant supplements: whey protein, omegas, multivitamins, creatine, pre-workouts, intra-workouts. They've got all sorts, snacks from bars, dextrose if you want to add more carbohydrates to your drinks as well, and a whole host more. And they do some great merchandise over there as well. And if you want to support the channel, like I said, head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk or Combat Fuel and use the codes to save yourself 15% off. Once again, thank you to all of you for support and watching. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, turn notifications on if you want more in-depth tactical breakdowns. And remember, never be beaten.